Hi guys and welcome to Crazy Pepper Revenge. This channel is all about crazy true stories, stuff that happens in real life when things get a little bit messy.
We were at this casual steakhouse downtown celebrating my father-in-law's 65th birthday. Dark wood panels on the walls, pictures of cattle hanging everywhere, nothing fancy. Around 20 relatives crammed around a long table, everyone talking loud, passing bread baskets, the usual family chaos. I was sitting there trying to enjoy my meal when my brother-in-law started going on about his recent promotion at work. Everyone congratulated him, asked questions about his salary bump. Typical dinner conversation. Then, someone at the table turned their attention to me and asked what was going on with my career. I barely opened my mouth before my wife cut me off completely. "Oh, he's perfectly satisfied where he is, aren't you, honey?" The way she said it had this sharp edge, like she was making a statement more than asking a question. I tried to keep my voice calm and neutral. "The job's fine. It pays the bills." Her sister Monica wouldn't let it drop, though. "Didn't you mention having some opportunity a while back? I remember you talking about something." My wife actually laughed out loud, like genuinely laughed. "Yeah, he turned it down, said it wasn't the right time." I felt my jaw tighten up. That wasn't the full story, and she damn well knew it. "It would have required relocating," I said quietly, trying to keep things civil. "We discussed it together and made the decision as a couple." She put her fork down hard on her plate. I knew exactly where this was heading. "Discussed? You mean I told you I wasn't moving anywhere, and you agreed because you knew this relationship wouldn't survive long distance?" The entire table went silent. People suddenly became very interested in their steaks. "That's not fair," I said. "I chose us. I chose this marriage." Her voice started getting louder. "You chose the easy option. You were scared, terrified of change, afraid of the challenge, afraid of actually proving yourself." My father-in-law tried to step in and change the subject. "Maybe we should talk about something else." She completely ignored him. "You know what your real problem is?" she continued. "You're comfortable being mediocre. You had an actual chance to do something meaningful with your career, and you chickened out." I could feel everyone at that table staring at us now. My face felt hot. "I made that decision for you. For us." She pointed her finger directly at me. "No, you made it because you're terrified of being alone. You knew if you left, I wouldn't wait around for you. And you couldn't handle that possibility." The whole table was completely silent now. Even our waiter had backed away from our section. I opened my mouth to respond, then closed it. What could I even say? She'd just announced to everyone at this table that I was weak, afraid, incapable of surviving without her. She leaned back in her chair and crossed her arms. "If you want to leave, go right ahead. Walk out that door right now. You'll come crawling back within weeks, probably even days." My mother-in-law gasped and said that was enough. "I'm completely serious," my wife continued, her eyes cold and hard. "He needs me way more than I need him. Everyone here knows it. He definitely knows it." I stood up from my chair. It scraped against the floor, loud in the heavy silence. "Where are you going?" she asked, sounding almost bored with the whole situation. I pulled out my wallet, threw down enough cash to cover my portion of the meal, looked at my father-in-law and said, "Happy birthday." Then I walked out without another word. I heard her voice behind me calling out, "See? Running away like he always does?" I didn't turn around or respond, just kept walking through the restaurant, past the other customers who absolutely heard everything, straight out to the parking lot. My hands were shaking when I reached my truck, not from anger, but from this sudden clarity. She genuinely believed I needed her. Thought I was too weak, too scared, too comfortable to survive on my own. I started the engine and drove toward our house. Our home, for now anyway. My phone started buzzing before I even got there, text message after text message coming through. I didn't look at any of them when I walked through the front door. I went straight to the bedroom and pulled out my old duffel bag from the back of the closet. Started packing systematically. Clothes, toiletries, important documents, anything I'd need. I wasn't grabbing everything I owned, just enough to get by. The phone kept buzzing constantly now. Calls instead of just texts. I let every single one ring through to voicemail. 40 minutes later, I was checking into a motel off the highway. Nothing special about the place, but it was clean and $70 a night. I could manage that rate while I figured out my next steps. I sat down on the edge of the bed and finally looked at my phone. 17 missed calls, dozens and dozens of messages piling up. The first batch were angry, telling me I was being childish, to come back immediately. that I was embarrassing myself. Then they turned confused, asking where I was, demanding I answer my phone, saying people were getting worried. Then they shifted to almost concerned, saying this wasn't funny anymore, that we needed to talk like adults. I didn't respond to a single one of them. Instead, I started scrolling through my email inbox until I found what I was looking for. An email from 8 months ago with the subject line, "Exciting opportunity, still interested?" I'd saved it for some reason. Don't know exactly why. Maybe somewhere deep down I knew this day would eventually come. I read through it again carefully. Senior position in a different state, 40% salary increase over my current pay, significantly better benefits package, real room for advancement and growth. I turned it down because she didn't want to move, because she had her job here, her friends here, her family nearby, because I thought being married meant compromise and sacrifice for each other. She just told an entire room full of people that I was too scared to make it on my own. Time to prove her completely wrong. I opened that email and clicked reply. I wrote the message at 11 p.m. sitting on that motel bed with my laptop balanced on my knees, trying to keep my hands steady. Mr. Thompson, I hope this message finds you well. I know it's been several months since we last spoke about the position at your company. If the opportunity is still available, I'd like to express my serious interest in moving forward with the process. My circumstances have recently changed, and I'm now in a position to relocate. Please let me know if we can discuss this further at your earliest convenience. I hit send before I could second-guess myself or talk myself out of it. My phone buzzed again immediately. Another call from her. I declined it without hesitation. Then a text came through saying I was acting insane and needed to come home so we could talk like adults. I turned the phone off completely and tried to get some sleep. Didn't work at all. Spent most of the night staring at the ceiling, listening to 18-wheelers rumbling past on the highway outside. Morning came way too early. I turned my phone back on and immediately found 23 new messages waiting. Her family had joined in now. Her sister asking what was going on, saying she was really upset. Her mother insisting we needed to work this out together. Her brother telling me to just come back, that I was making things worse. Not a single person asked if I was okay. Nobody questioned what she'd actually said to me at that dinner. I deleted every single message without responding to anyone. What I didn't delete was the email notification that had come in at 6 a.m. Mr. Thompson had already replied, "Great to hear from you. The position we discussed was filled, but we actually have an even better opportunity that just opened up. Are you available for a phone call this morning?" I called him at exactly 8 o'clock sharp. "I'll be completely honest with you," Thompson said after we talked for about 20 minutes. "We were genuinely disappointed when you turned us down last time. You were our absolute first choice for that role. But this new position is actually a step up from what we originally offered you. It's a team lead position with more responsibility, but also considerably more money. 52% increase from your current salary." I did the quick math in my head. That was significant money, actually life-changing money. "When would you need me to start?" I asked. 2 weeks, 3 if you need the extra time. We completely understand you'll need time to relocate and get settled. 2 weeks works perfectly for me, I said. Excellent. I'll have our HR department send over all the paperwork today. Welcome aboard. After I hung up, I just sat there for several minutes, letting it all sink in. I just accepted a job in another state. Just like that, in one phone call. My phone rang again, her calling once more. This time I decided to answer. "Where are you?" She sounded annoyed rather than worried about me. "Doesn't matter where I am. You need to come home right now so we can talk about what happened last night." "There's nothing to talk about. You made yourself perfectly clear." "I was upset. You embarrassed me by walking out like that in front of everyone." I almost laughed at the absurdity. "I embarrassed you? My entire family was there. You made a complete scene. You told everyone I'm weak and pathetic, that I'd come crawling back to you within weeks." Silence on the other end for a moment. Then, "I didn't actually say the word pathetic." "Close enough. Listen, I'm not coming back." "Stop being so dramatic. You're staying at some motel to teach me a lesson or something?" "I accepted a job offer. I'm moving out of state in 2 weeks." Another period of silence. Much longer this time. "What are you talking about?" "The job I turned down before. They had another opening available, better position, better pay. I start in 14 days. "You're lying to me. Believe whatever you want to believe. You can't just leave. We have a lease together, bills, commitments. I'll pay my half of this month's rent. After that, you're completely on your own. Her voice changed, got much harder. You're really doing this over one single argument? It wasn't an argument. You deliberately humiliated me in front of your entire family because you wanted to prove some kind of point. Mission accomplished on that front. So that's it? You're just going to run away? I'm moving forward with my life. There's a significant difference. You won't last 2 months out there by yourself. I guess we'll find out. I hung up before she could say anything else. The next 2 days were pure logistics and planning. I went to our bank and withdrew exactly half of our joint savings account. It wasn't much, maybe $3,000 total, but it was rightfully mine. I opened a brand new account at a completely different bank and set up my direct deposit information there. I went to our house when I knew for certain she'd be at work. Packed up more clothes, grabbed my laptop, collected some books I cared about, left my house key sitting on the kitchen counter. She texted me at some point demanding we needed to talk in person, not over the phone like this. I ignored it completely. On day 3, she actually showed up at the motel. I was coming back from getting coffee when I spotted her car in the parking lot. She was waiting by my room door with her arms crossed. "How did you even find me?" I asked. I checked every cheap motel within 10 miles of here. It wasn't particularly hard. I unlocked the door but didn't invite her inside. "What do you want from me?" "To understand what's actually happening here, you're throwing away 5 years together over one bad night." One bad night? That was just when you finally said out loud what you've clearly been thinking for months, maybe even years. That's not true at all. You called me mediocre, told me I was scared, said I needed you more than you needed me. I was angry when I said those things. Angry people usually tell the truth. I looked directly at her. You meant every single word. She tried switching to a different approach, softer tone. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said those things to you. Come home and we can work on this together. There's nothing left to work on. I'm leaving in 11 days. You're actually serious about this job?" "Completely serious." "What about us?" "There is no us anymore." "Not after that." Her eyes hardened again, almost immediately. "You're making a huge mistake. That job won't work out for you. You'll be miserable and alone out there, and I won't be here when you finally realize you need me. I'm counting on that." I stepped inside the room and closed the door. She stood there for about a minute. Then I heard her footsteps walking away, her car starting up and leaving. That same night, I received an email from the company's HR department. Contract details, comprehensive benefits information, relocation assistance package. It was completely legitimate. This was actually happening. I signed everything they sent me and returned it all. 10 days remaining until I left. My phone kept constantly buzzing with messages from various members of her family. I didn't answer a single one of them. I changed my phone number on day 7. Only gave the new number to my current boss so I could finish out my notice period, and to the HR person at the new company. Complete and total silence after that. It felt incredibly good. On my last day at my old job, my supervisor seemed genuinely confused. "You gave notice pretty suddenly. Is everything okay with you?" "Better than okay, actually. A new opportunity came up that I couldn't pass on." "Good for you, then. You've always been solid and reliable here. They're lucky to have you." That simple sentence meant more to me than she probably realized. I loaded up my truck on Saturday morning. Everything I actually owned fit in the truck bed and the back seat. I didn't have much to my name. I drove past our house one final time. Her car was sitting in the driveway. I didn't stop or slow down. 300 miles to my new life ahead. Made it in 5 hours of steady driving. The new city was smaller than I'd expected, not tiny, but definitely manageable, the kind of place where traffic actually moved at reasonable speeds and parking wasn't a constant nightmare. I found the company building on Sunday afternoon just to make sure I knew exactly where I was going Monday morning. Modern glass and steel construction, 5 stories tall, with the Parks Industrial Equipment logo displayed prominently on the front. They manufactured industrial machinery and equipment, something I actually had solid knowledge about from my previous job experience. My first day started Monday morning at 8 a.m. sharp. Thompson met me in the lobby personally. "Good to finally have you here with us," he said while shaking my hand firmly. "Let me show you around the place." The office was clean, well-organized, and busy with activity. People actually seemed to genuinely enjoy being there. Thompson introduced me to my immediate team. 6 people total, all seemed friendly and welcoming enough. One guy named Derek offered to help me get settled into the area. "You find a place to live yet?" he asked during our lunch break. Still staying in a hotel, planning to look at apartments this week. Apartments around here are pretty expensive, honestly. I've got a spare room at my place if you're interested. $300 a month plus we split utilities. It's not fancy, but it's cheap and available. I thought about the offer for a moment. Sharing a place wasn't exactly ideal, but it made solid financial sense while I got properly established in the area. That could actually work out well. Come by after work today and check it out, see what you think. Derek's place turned out to be a small house in an older neighborhood. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, kitchen that had definitely seen better days. But it was clean, quiet, and the room he was offering had decent space for a bed and a desk. I work swing shifts sometimes, so I'm not always around the house. Long as you're not throwing parties or leaving messes everywhere, we're good. Deal. I moved in that same weekend. Bought a used bed frame and mattress from a local thrift store for cheap. Set up my laptop on an old desk Derek had stored in his garage. It wasn't much to look at, but it was mine. Nobody around telling me I was mediocre or keeping a running score of all my failures. Work turned out to be genuinely good. Better than good, actually. The job was challenging enough to be interesting, but not completely overwhelming. My supervisor, a woman named Sarah, was direct and fair in her management style. When I did something well, she made sure to say so. When I made a mistake, she'd explain how to fix it properly without making me feel stupid or incompetent about it. You're picking this up considerably faster than most people we hire, she told me after my second week. Thompson was absolutely right about you. 3 weeks into the job, I got my first paycheck. Saw that number printed on the direct deposit notification and had to double check it to make sure it was accurate. Even after taxes and insurance deductions were taken out, I was still taking home more than I'd made in an entire month at my old job. I paid Derek his rent, bought groceries for myself, and still had money left over at the end. Actual savings building up. It felt genuinely strange. My old phone was sitting in a drawer somewhere, turned off since I'd gotten the new number. But curiosity eventually got the better of me one night. I turned it on to see what I'd missed. 87 missed calls total. Over 200 text messages that had piled up. The first big batch were all from her. Starting angry, then shifting to confused, then becoming almost desperate sounding. Messages saying I couldn't just disappear like this, that we needed to talk, that I was being childish, that she was worried about me, that my family was asking about me. Then her family members had joined in with their own messages. Her mother saying that whatever happened between us, we could work it out together. Her father telling me to be a man and face this situation. Her sister Monica saying she was a complete mess and I needed to come back. I scrolled through every single message. Not one person had asked what she'd actually said to me at that dinner. Not one person acknowledged that maybe, just maybe, I had legitimate reasons for leaving. The most recent message was from 5 days ago, from her. I talked to a lawyer. If you want a divorce, that's fine, but we need to handle this properly and legally. I turned the phone back off and put it away in the drawer again. At work, things continued improving steadily. Sarah assigned me to lead a small project team. Nothing major in scope, but it was entirely mine to manage and execute. The team members respected my decisions, asked intelligent questions, and consistently delivered quality work on schedule. You've got a genuinely good handle on managing people, Sarah told me after we finished ahead of schedule. That's actually pretty rare around here. About a month and a half in, I started meeting people outside of work for the first time. Derek invited me to come along to a bar where he regularly played pool with his friends. Nothing fancy, just a neighborhood place with cheap beer and worn felt on the tables. One of Derek's friends, a woman named Riley, who worked in accounting at a different company, was funny and sarcastic and didn't take anyone's nonsense. "So you're the mysterious roommate," she said when we were introduced. "Derek mentioned you just moved here completely out of nowhere. Needed a significant change in my life. Leaving something behind or running towards something new? Both, I guess. Little bit of each." She smiled at that. Fair enough answer. We ended up talking for quite a while. Nothing particularly serious or deep, just normal conversation. It felt natural and easy. Nobody was keeping score or waiting for me to inevitably mess something up. When I got back to the house that night, Derek was watching television. "Riley likes you. We literally just met today. Trust me, I've known her for several years now. She doesn't talk to people that long unless she's genuinely interested in them." I didn't really know what to do with that information, so I just filed it away mentally and went to bed. Work kept getting progressively better. I was handling bigger projects now, making decisions that actually mattered to the company. Thompson called me into his office after I'd been there 3 months. I wanted to check in with you, see how you're adjusting to everything here. It's been great, honestly. Better than I expected it would be. Good to hear, because we're expanding the team substantially, and I want you to help me interview candidates. Sarah specifically recommended you for this. That really meant something significant, being trusted to help build out the team. I'd be happy to help with that. My phone buzzed in my pocket. The new one. A text from an unknown number I didn't recognize. I got your new number from your old boss. We need to talk about the house and splitting assets properly. Call me. I knew exactly who it was, without needing to ask. I deleted the message immediately. Everything okay? Thompson asked, noticing my expression. Yeah, just some old business I need to handle eventually. Take whatever time you need to deal with it. I didn't need time, though. What I needed was a lawyer to handle this properly. I found one through a coworker's recommendation. Small practice, very straightforward approach. Guy named Mr. Richardson. I explained the entire situation in his office the very next day. Pretty simple case overall, he said after hearing everything. No children involved, no major shared assets. You were renting, not buying. Vehicles registered in separate names? Yes. Yes, that's all correct. Then it's really just splitting whatever savings you had together and making sure debts are handled fairly between you. I can file the paperwork this week if you want to move forward. Do it, he nodded. I'll need her contact information. I gave him the old number and let him deal with her directly. That night, Derek asked if I wanted to grab dinner with him and some of his friends. Riley was going to be there too. Sure, I said. We went to a casual diner, nothing fancy, just good burgers and fries. Riley sat directly across from me, and we ended up talking for most of the night, while Derek and the others got into heated arguments about sports. You seem different from when we first met, she observed. Different how, exactly? More relaxed, less like you're constantly waiting for something bad to happen. Maybe she was right about that. I hadn't really realized it consciously, but I'd stopped looking over my shoulder all the time, stopped waiting for the other shoe to inevitably drop. This place has been really good for me. Good, she said with a smile. You should definitely stick around then. When I got back to the house, I checked my email before bed. One message from Richardson. Divorce petition has been filed and processed. She's been formally served with papers. Expect a response within 30 days maximum. I closed the laptop and went to bed. For the first time in literal years, I slept straight through the entire night without waking up even once. Richardson called me exactly 2 weeks after filing the paperwork. She's contesting the divorce, claims you abandoned the marriage, and wants financial compensation for emotional distress. I actually laughed out loud, couldn't help it. Emotional distress? Seriously? It's a pretty standard tactic in these cases. She'll drop it once she realizes it won't work in court. Her lawyer's probably just trying to scare you into offering more money in settlement. What do I actually owe her legally? Half of whatever you had in joint savings when you left. You already withdrew your half of that, so technically nothing at all. She might try to claim part of your new income, but that's a real stretch since you earned it entirely after separation occurred. So this is basically just noise then. Pretty much exactly that. I'll respond appropriately through proper channels, don't worry about it. But she wasn't finished trying yet. 3 days later, my old number started getting messages again. I'd left that phone turned on this time, curious what would actually happen. Her father texting that I needed to handle this situation like a man, that she was struggling financially because I left without any warning. Her sister saying she'd had to get a roommate just to afford rent, asking if I was really going to leave her with all the bills. Her brother saying whatever happened between us, I was better than this. I should help her out. Not a single one of them mentioned what she'd actually said at that family dinner. Not one person acknowledged that maybe she'd pushed me to this exact point. I didn't respond to any of them whatsoever. Then she somehow started texting my new number, must have gotten it from someone at my old job. Messages saying I couldn't just erase 5 years together, that we'd built an entire life. That she wasn't asking me to come back, just help with the transition. That it was the decent thing to do, that I was being cruel, that this wasn't who I really was. I showed all the messages to Derek one night. He read through them carefully and just shook his head. Classic guilt trip manipulation. She's panicking because her plan didn't work out. What plan exactly? She thought you'd completely fall apart without her, come crawling back begging. Now she's realizing she actually needs you more than you need her, and she's scrambling to fix it. That actually made perfect sense when I thought about it. The timeline fit together. Richardson called again soon after. She's willing to settle now. Wants you to pay 3 months of her rent to help her adjust to the situation. Absolutely not. Figured you'd say exactly that. I'll counter with a completely clean split, no money changes hands either direction, everyone just walks away. She won't like it initially, but she'll take it eventually. Work was really picking up in intensity. We'd landed a major contract and my team was assigned to handle a significant part of the implementation process. Long hours, but genuinely satisfying work. Sarah was clearly pleased with my performance overall. You're doing really well, she said during a formal review. Keep this up and there might be a promotion discussion in about 6 months. I wasn't counting on anything, but it felt good to hear regardless. Riley and I had been spending more time together gradually. Nothing official or labeled yet, just grabbing coffee or lunch together when our schedules lined up naturally. She knew I was going through a divorce, but didn't push me for details. You'll talk about it when you're ready to, or you won't. Either way is completely fine with me. One Saturday afternoon, she invited me to a local festival happening downtown. Food trucks, live music, craft vendors, the whole setup. The kind of thing I would have automatically avoided before, because it wasn't our scene together. I decided to go, ended up having a genuinely good time. Bought some ridiculous hat from a vendor because Riley dared me to actually wear it. Ate way too much fried food and didn't feel even slightly guilty about it. On the drive back, she asked, "So, what's your ex actually like as a person?" "Why do you want to know that?" "Just curious what kind of person you're running from." "I'm not running from her specifically. I'm running towards something better for myself." "That's a smooth answer," she smiled. "But seriously, though, I thought about how to answer that honestly. She needed me to be less than I actually am. Smaller, more contained. She wanted someone she could control easily. And I spent 5 whole years letting her do exactly that to me. And now I'm completely done being small for anyone." She nodded approvingly. "Good for you." That night I got a message from an unknown number on my work phone. Someone had gotten that number too somehow. "This is Monica. I know you probably won't respond to this, but I need to tell you something important. She's not doing well at all. Lost her job last week. Her boss said she's been distracted and making too many mistakes. She's barely eating anything. I'm genuinely worried about her." I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me felt bad about it. 5 years together, you don't just stop caring completely overnight. But another part of me, the part that remembered sitting at that dinner table while she told everyone I was weak and pathetic, felt absolutely nothing. I deleted the message without responding. Richardson called the very next morning. "Good news! She accepted the terms we offered. Clean split, no money exchanged in either direction. Just need your signature on the final documents to make it official." That was surprisingly fast. Her lawyer probably told her straight up that she had no case whatsoever. Smart move on her part to settle now rather than drag it out. I met him at his office that same afternoon, signed everywhere he indicated with little tabs. 7 full pages of dense legal language that basically boiled down to, "We're done, we owe each other nothing. Goodbye forever." "That's it?" I asked when we finished. "That's it. Judge will finalize everything in about 30 days, but you're essentially divorced right now. Congratulations." Weird thing to congratulate someone about, but I understood what he actually meant by it. I drove back to the house I was sharing with Derek. He was in the living room with Riley and a few other friends watching a game on TV. "How'd it go?" Derek asked when I walked in. "Signed all the papers. It's officially done." "That definitely calls for celebration," Riley announced. "Oh, we're ordering pizza. You're buying since you're newly single." I laughed. "Deal." That entire night felt completely normal and easy. Just people genuinely enjoying each other's company without any drama or scorekeeping or someone constantly waiting for me to mess up somehow. My phone buzzed at some point, the old one still sitting on my dresser. I ignored it completely. Whatever she had to say now didn't matter anymore. That chapter was permanently closed. I had a new job I was good at, new friends who actually liked me, and a new life that didn't require me to shrink myself down to fit someone else's narrow idea of who I should be. 3 months ago, she'd told me with complete confidence that I'd come crawling back within weeks. She'd been wrong about absolutely everything. 3 more months passed. I was sitting in a meeting when reception called my extension directly. "There's someone here in the lobby to see you. Says she's your wife." My stomach immediately dropped. Ex-wife. Tell her I'm unavailable right now. She's being pretty insistent about it. Says it's extremely important. I closed my eyes and took a breath. I'll be right there. Sarah looked at me with concern. Everything all right? Personal issue I need to handle. I'll deal with it quickly. I walked to the main lobby. She was standing by the front desk looking completely out of place in jeans and a wrinkled jacket. She'd clearly lost weight. Dark circles under her eyes. What are you doing here? I kept my voice low and controlled. You wouldn't answer any of my calls. I needed to see you in person. We have absolutely nothing to discuss. The divorce is finalized. I know that, I know. She glanced around nervously, noticed people were watching us. Can we please talk somewhere private? No. Whatever you need to say it right here or leave. Her jaw tightened visibly. I drove 6 hours to see you. The absolute least you can do is give me 10 minutes of your time. I didn't ask you to come here. I didn't ask you to do anything. You need to leave this building now. Please. Her voice actually cracked. I made a mistake. I know that now. I was wrong about everything I said at that dinner. I was angry and stupid, and I hurt you badly. I'm sorry. A few coworkers had stopped what they were doing, pretending not to listen, but obviously interested. Apology noted. Now please leave. Don't do this. Don't throw away everything we built together because of one bad night. One bad night? I shook my head. That night was just you finally saying out loud what you'd clearly been thinking all along. You meant every single word. I didn't mean it. I was trying to hurt you because I was frustrated with myself, with us, with everything in my life, but I didn't actually mean any of it. Yes, you did. And you know what? You were right about some of it. I was comfortable. I was scared of change. But I'm not anymore. She reached for my arm. I stepped back away from her. I see what you're doing here, she said louder now, her voice rising. New job, new life, pretending you're so much better off without me. But you're not really. You're just running away from problems instead of fixing them like an adult. I fixed the problem. I left you. Her face flushed red. Several people weren't even pretending not to watch anymore. You're really going to humiliate me like this in front of all these people? I'm not doing anything to you. You came to my workplace completely uninvited. You're making a scene here. I'm simply asking you to leave the premises. I'm not leaving until we actually talk about this. I walked back over to the reception desk. Can you please call security? The receptionist immediately picked up her phone. My ex's eyes went wide. You're seriously calling security on me? You were asked politely to leave. You refused. That's trespassing. This is completely insane. I'm your wife, ex-wife, and you need to go right now. 2 security guards appeared from a side hallway. One of them, an older guy named Marcus, approached carefully. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with me, please. This is ridiculous, she said, but her voice was wavering now. You can't do this to me. Yes, ma'am, I can. Please don't make this more difficult than it needs to be. She looked at me one final time. You've changed completely. This isn't who you really are. You're absolutely right. I'm not the person who let you walk all over him anymore. That guy is gone. Marcus escorted her toward the exit doors. She didn't physically resist, but I heard her saying something about me making a huge mistake I'd regret. When they were completely gone, I turned around. Half the lobby was still staring at me. Sarah was standing by the hallway entrance. She walked over quietly. You want to take the rest of the day off? She asked in a low voice. No, I'm fine. Just need 5 minutes to collect myself. Take 10. Conference room 2 is empty right now. I sat in that conference room with my hands shaking slightly from pure adrenaline. Not from fear or anger, but from the clear realization that I'd just done something the old version of me never would have been capable of doing. The old me would have gone outside with her, would have listened to all her apologies and explanations, would have felt guilty for making her drive 6 hours. The new me recognized manipulation when he saw it clearly. 10 minutes later, I went back to my desk and got back to work. Derek, who worked in a different department but had apparently heard what happened, sent me a quick message. You good? Yeah, all handled now. Drinks after work? Definitely. That night, Derek and I met up at a bar with a few friends, including Riley. After I told them what happened, Riley shook her head. So let me get this straight, she said. She drove 6 hours just to ask you to take her back? Yeah, more or less. And then you had security kick her out? I told her to leave first, more than once. She wouldn't. Riley lifted her drink. Your next round is on me. That took nerve. It didn't feel brave, I said. It just felt like something I had to do. Derek leaned back. You know she's going to tell people you're the villain now, right? She can say whatever she wants. Anyone who knows the truth won't buy it. My phone buzzed, a text from a number I didn't know. That was heartless. She's crushed. Hope you're proud. Probably her mom or her sister. I showed the message to the table. Block it now, Riley said. They'll keep trying to shame you. She was right. I blocked the number. Seconds later, another text came in from a new one. You humiliated her at your job. She's ashamed. I blocked that one too without finishing it. Then my work email chimed. The sender was unknown. The subject line read, "You'll regret this." I opened it carefully, one line only. When this job falls apart and you're alone, don't come looking for me. I sent it straight to Richardson and asked if I should worry. He replied less than an hour later. Could be maltreatment. Save everything. If it keeps up, we can look into a restraining order. I saved the email and went back to my night. When we left, Riley walked with me to my truck. Real question, she said. Are you really done with her? I think I've been done for a long time. I just didn't see it until now. She didn't free you, Riley said. She challenged you. Either way, I'm finished. Good, she said. I like who you are now way more than who you were. That caught me off guard. You didn't even know me back then. I know enough, she said. Derek told me how you were when you moved here. Quiet, unsure, always saying sorry for existing. That's not who I see now. People change. No, she said. People become themselves when they stop being held back. She squeezed my arm and headed to her car. I drove home thinking about that. Maybe I hadn't changed at all. Maybe I'd just stopped acting. At home, I turned on my old phone one last time. 23 new messages from different numbers. Same message every time. I was cold, selfish, cruel. I shut the phone off and shoved it in a drawer. Let them think what they wanted. I knew the truth. 6 months after I left, Richardson emailed me the final divorce papers. Signed, stamped, done. I filed them and went to work like any other day. That afternoon, Sarah called me into her office. We need to talk about your work, she said. My stomach dropped. Is something wrong? Not at all, she said. You've gone beyond expectations. Your team trusts you. Clients ask for you by name. Thompson and I have been talking about what's next for you. She slid a paper across the desk. It's a promotion. Senior team lead, 18% raise, better benefits, and 2 teams instead of 1. I read it slowly. The pay was good. The role fit. When would this start? I asked. Next month, if you accept. I signed without a second thought. Life found its balance. Work stayed busy but fulfilling. I moved out of Derek's place into a small rental house. Nothing fancy, but it had a yard and a garage. Room to breathe. Riley and I had been seeing each other for 2 months. No rush, just letting it grow. She met my coworkers. I met her friends. It felt simple in a way my marriage never did. One night at dinner, she asked, "Do you still think about her?" Sometimes, I said. Not much. What do you think about? How different things would be if I'd stayed, and how thankful I am that I didn't. She reached for my hand. I'm glad too. The old phone stayed in the drawer for months. One night, curious, I turned it on. Hundreds of unread messages. I didn't open them. Her family had stopped writing long ago. The last few were from her. The most recent was 3 weeks old. I know you've moved on. I've seen it online through mutual friends. I'm truly happy for you, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how things ended. You deserve better than what I gave you. I hope you're well. No pressure, no blame, just words. I almost replied. But what was there to say? That I forgave her? That it no longer mattered? I turned the phone off and put it away. Some talks aren't needed. A year after I left, I sat on my back porch with a beer, watching the sun go down. Derek and Riley were coming over for dinner. I just wrapped up a huge work project. My phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Is this you? An older man asked. Who is this? It's your ex-father-in-law. I got your number from your old boss. I nearly hung up. What do you want? To say something. Just 5 minutes. Go on. He paused. I owe you an apology. What she said at my birthday. What we all allowed. It wasn't right. I've thought about it all year. Okay. She's doing better now. New job. More stable. She says you're doing well too. I am. That's good. Another pause. What she said that night about you crawling back, I never believed it. I should have said that then. Would have helped. I know, I'm sorry. Apology accepted. Anything else? No, take care. He hung up. I sat there a moment. Part of me appreciated the call. Most of me felt nothing. That part of my life was over. Derek and Riley showed up later. We grilled burgers, drank too much, and argued over movies. Normal things, good things. After they left, I threw the old phone in the trash. I didn't need it. I didn't need reminders. She said I'd come back begging, that I couldn't stand on my own, that I needed her. A year later, I had a job I loved, a relationship that felt real, and people who valued me as I was. She was wrong about all of it, and I had never been more right.